And our first speaker is Ken with Does It Really Matter?
All right. Yeah. Have you ever had something happen to you where it made you think, does it really matter? Something like that happened to me a few weeks ago. And when you hear about it, you might have the same thought or use that same thought in similar situations. It was at the end of a week. It was actually a very good week. A week where I'd gotten notified of a big raise at the job. A week where my teaching was going very well and got good feedback from the students. And a week when a big grant for $2 to $3 million looked like it was coming in. Really good kind of week. That Saturday, after working out at the gym, my son called me, I could tell from the name on the phone. And my son, who lives in New York City, is in his 30s, is a competitive, among other things, competitive bicycle racer. You know, the kind of racer, the kind that's, I don't know, I always find laughable, you know, with the really tight clothes, and the funny helmet, and the funny goggles, you know, looks like an insect on a bike, right? That kind of racer. Maybe you look like you're one of those, right? Because you're not laughing.
Yes.
Anyway, but you know that kind of competitive racer, sort of like a Tour de France, but around, you know, around parks in New York City. And I knew he had a race that day, so when I saw that it was him calling, I expected him to tell me about the outcome of the race. I said, okay, hi Stefan, how's it going? Good. How'd the race go? Oh, I didn't race this morning. You didn't race this morning? Well, what happened? So, well, I was on my way to the race. I was on my competition bike. I was running a little late, and when I got to an intersection, I could see, I still had green, but I could tell that it was going to change color, but I decided to speed through the intersection. And just as I got to the middle of the intersection, I saw that a car had jumped the red light to get into the intersection, a big panel truck, and he was heading right at me for a T-bone collision. T-bone is this way, right? T-bone. And in a T-bone collision, the bicyclist usually loses, right? Because the panel truck. And he said, Dad, at the last minute, I just turned like this. He sideswiped me, knocked me over, destroyed my bike. I scraped up my whole leg, but I didn't get hurt. And then he just went on through the intersection. I said, wow, Stefan, that's scary. You could have gotten killed. He said, yeah, I almost got killed because if I had gotten T-boned, I would have gotten killed. He said, Dad, and you know there are a lot of bicyclists killed in New York City this year from these kinds of accidents. Well, Stefan, I'm glad you didn't get killed. He said, you're telling me? I'm glad too. And we both laughed at it and talked about other things. But when I went back to work on Monday, I had this funny reaction. The reaction was, you know, the big grant coming in, the big salary raise, the good teaching, does it really matter? If my son had been killed on that Saturday, I would be I would be grief-stricken. My son is very dear to me. I would have been destroyed, heartbroken, crying, not even been in work. Does it really matter, those things? And the answer is, as you know, it doesn't really matter. You heard these kind of stories before, but when it happens to you, you realize it doesn't really matter, those things. So the next time you're getting all caught up at work and bent out of shape by something that's happening, just remember, does it really matter in the big scheme of things compared to the closeness of the people around you and the relationships you have? And when you do remember that, not only will you remember the people more fondly and be more close to them, but you'll remember to let go of that grasping for all those other things which really don't matter. Remember, it doesn't matter when something like this happens. Mr. Postmaster.